John Leonard is our second victim profile. Detective Lualamonga of the East Palo Alto Police Department has the background on this homicide.
On July 18, 2008, at approximately 10:25 p.m. in the evening, East Palo Alto police officers were advised by San Mateo County Communications of reports of citizens reporting that a male subject had suffered gunshot wounds in the vicinity of Ursula and Farrington Way. Upon police arrival, police discovered that the victim was 20-year-old John Leonard. Paramedics shortly arrived after and attempted to render medical aid, but were unable to revive Mr. Leonard as he succumbed to his injuries. Further investigation revealed that Mr. Leonard may have been contacted by two unknown male subjects prior to the shooting. Thereafter, after the shooting, these two male subjects were last seen fleeing the scene in a light-colored vehicle. At this time, there's no motive. There hasn't been a motive that's been determined for this tragic event at this time. It has not been determined.
Thank you. Here with us to talk about John Leonard are some family members. His mother, Miss Chatman, thank you for being here. One of his three sisters, Nicole, Cheadle, thank you for being here. His, John's companion, Setavia Meacham, thank you for being here. And she's here with John Leonard Jr., John's son, who is 20 months old. And also here is Audrey Parker, who is John Leonard's godmother. Thank you all for being here today. I know this is very, very difficult to talk about, but very, very important to talk about. So the first question I have to ask you all is, how did each of you learn about John's death? Ms. Chatman.
I received a phone call from a long-time friend. I haven't talked to her very long, but she called and she told me that John was shot. And I asked her, was he all right? And she said no, she didn't think he was dead. So I just got in my car, some of the kids, and we lived in Newark at the time, so I drove over and just ran down Farrington, and I didn't get a chance to see him. He was covered up with a yellow cover.
It's just horrible. How did you find out?
Well, I had just recently moved to Georgia. John was actually taking care of my mom, which I was doing prior to that. So I moved to Georgia, and I was there maybe 2 weeks when I got the call from my oldest daughter that said that John had gotten shot, and they were en route to the location where he was.
Wow. And Setavia, how did you find out?
Well, I was with him all that day. He had left to go. He said he'll be right back. He didn't exactly tell me where he was going, but he said he'd be right back. And maybe about 15, 20 minutes later, maybe 20 minutes later, a friend of ours from the neighborhood, he came to my grandmother's house, and he said, they got John. They got John. He's gone. And I'm like, what do you mean they got John? You know, I didn't know what he was talking about. And I said, where is he? And they said, in Florida. And I said, okay. Like, I hopped in the car. I got in the car with a friend of mine, and I drove to the scene over on Farrington. I didn't exactly know it was on Farrington, but I followed the fire trucks. Like, when I was arriving, the firemen had just gotten there, and the police had they were putting up yellow tape, like cautions. And I ran towards the tape. I ran towards the tape, the yellow tape, and as I ran towards him, he was laying on the ground, and I blacked out, and I fainted. Like, I blacked out. I didn't even get a chance to get close to him. I just was in shock, and I blacked out. So.
How old are you?
I'm 22.
Ms. Parker, you're his godmother. How did you find out?
I found out that day was my youngest son's birthday, and we was going to celebrate. We were all going to go to the Crab Shack, which was in Oakland, and I had made some tacos, and Johnny gave me some money earlier to go get the crab, because him and my other son had been drinking, and he was like, Mom, we're tipsy. So I went to go get the crab. And as I came home, one of my sons ran out the door screaming. And he said, Mom, John is gone. They shot John. And I said, where? Where is he? And he said, around the corner from my grandmother's house. And I just rushed over there. And when I got there, he was laying at the corner, and it was yellow tape. And Pastor Bennett was there, and my pastor, Pastor Harris, was there. Setavia and them all, and we just huddled. You know, we just held on to each other.
We have photographs of John showing some good times, but this has been very hard to talk about. And I'm hoping that as the photographs come up on the monitor, that you all can just tell all of us what we're seeing and what was happening during these times. We've got several photographs. So that's John, is that right?
Yes.
That's our favorite picture.
Is that your favorite picture? Why is that?
Because it describes him.
How would you describe him? We'll go to the next picture. Go ahead. How would you describe him, Setavia?
John was,
Mama's boy.
yeah, that's one of him and Linda, Mama's boy. He was very happy and cheerful. He was always, like, I don't know, somewhat.
How old was he in that
center
picture?
of attention. Kind
He was 2.
2 years old.
Look at the picture.
Wow. And that? How old? He was 5 years old there? It's adorable. It's adorable. What's happening in that picture?
I wanted a picture of all of my grandkids and kids together.
It's a wonderful picture.
I was in the hospital and had my first surgery. I had a kidney removed. And
Wow.
that's the picture.
Wow.
They took those.
What's happening there?
He graduated from Belhaven, 8th grade.
Right.
He was at Belhaven ever since Head Start.
Oh. And how about there?
Church. We reside at Harmony Baptist Church in Oakland.
Wow. He was a junior deacon then.
Got it. And there? Who are all those men?
His brother and uncles.
Where is John in that picture?
Sitting.
He's the one sitting with the arms folded.
That was on Father's Day.
Father's Day. Got it. And that? I guess who that is.
Look, Daddy.
That's John Jr. and John Sr., right? Wow.
He was so excited to be a dad.
He was.
He couldn't
And
wait.
that's Setavia, that's you? And
Yeah, that's
John.
me and John.
So he really wanted to be a dad.
He
took
couldn't
pictures
wait.
on
He was excited.
John wanted
Really?
to be a dad when we were like 15.
15.
He
Really?
played the father role to
Really?
all the kids.
And what's there? Just having
That's
fun at the
me and
beach?
him at the beach. We were at the beach. He loved to go to the beach. That's him
Wow.
at the beach.
So somebody saw something when John was shot. And that somebody, they're not talking. If that somebody is watching this program right now, this is your opportunity, family members, to say something to that person so we can get this murder solved. What do you have to say to that person or people? Ms. Chapman?
Anyone. It's just anything. If it's one word, it's just so.
Nicole?
I just would like to say that it could be something you think is so small, but it could help a whole lot. So if you would just take the time and make the call, you don't have to identify yourself. Just give us the information that you know to help the family.
Thank you. Setavia?
I just would like some type of closure. Just for them to come forward, you know, or if someone knows something. I mean, it's devastating what I'm going through. And
Audrey?
I would just like to tell them that no matter what it is, if it's small, you know, just make the call. We already forgave you in our hearts, and we know that God forgave you. So we just would like a closure, because every day, it's not a day go by that we don't talk about him, that we don't think about him. And we miss him so much. Me and my boys just went and visited him on Sunday. We just won't.
Where is he buried?
In Livermore.
So I know that this has been, we can just see it, how hard this has been for you all to talk about it, but you all had the courage to come forward, to come on this program and to speak out. And that's what we need from you all. We need the people who know something to speak out. You know who you are. If you saw anything that has to do with the murder of John Leonard, please make the call. If you don't, then you let the person who killed John Leonard get away with yet another murder in East Palo Alto, and none of us wants that. Thank you all for coming on Make the Call, and we hope that somebody out there will do that and make the call. That's 1-888-MURDER-0.